So your PlayStation's screwed up and you want to know how to fix it. Right here on Stu's channel.
Don't bind those up, so be careful with those two sections. Now you've got a piece right here. We're doing the opposite of what we did before. Flip this thing over. Set it down so that it's, somewhat level and stable. Might even be able to get away with just simply setting it down at this point, and it's okay. Here's the point. I'll tilt this up so that you can see it. Your fan unit, it's all clean, it's all nice. Do you remember that it plugs in right here? That must mean that this goes on like this. Yes, you're right. This fan unit is going opposite of this honeycomb hole looking thing. You can actually look through and see where this is supposed to go, lining up with these holes. You can see through the fan, you can see it, and you'll know where it has to go. So what you'll do is you'll line it up with the holes, set it down, press your two thumbs on it, turn it over, turn the thing over, set it down. Now it's level, it's fine now. It's just going to sit right there. Those two, go to your bowl and get your two pieces. And if you've lost one of your fat screws look like this that go inside these. See how these are shaped? This curved portion goes down. It's like a spring. So you're going to set this on. Just set it in. Get your other one. And set it in. Take one side, press it down, screw it in just a little bit. Take your other side, press it down just a little bit, and screw it in just a tad. Go over here, do the same exact thing. Press down, give it a little turn, press down, give it a little turn. Now some people do what we call torquing, kind of like how you would be putting on a tire, where you'll screw this end. Usually with a tire or any other things like that, you're going to want to start from the inside, like these two screws, like this one here. Screw it down a little bit, screw this one down a little bit, then go to the outsides. Doesn't matter which way you start. Couple screws, screw this down, inside ones, screw it down a little more, go to the outside, a little bit, insides. Let's screw that one all the way down. Screw it all the way down. Does it really honestly matter? Probably not. But it works. It works good for everything else that you have to torque down when you do that. So why not just take that application and apply it here? What has this done? Well, if you had the blob or the X, that would now spread this out evenly. Ta-da! The fan's not going to fall off. You're on your merry way. Next item up for bids. We're going practically in the reverse order. Remember this black piece? This is where your plug plugs in? Yes. We can get rid of our piece. Alright, I've made a small mistake. I've taken this off and I didn't replace it. It's actually the only one I have. All of the rubber pieces that were on any of these on the inside, put those back on. Just stick them back on the top. This one here I'll get to because I'll probably be coming back to this one. This is going to screw on. Do you remember I have a little X right here? That little X is that short screw, that the weird screw. Actually on here it's the long screw. Looks like this. This is shorter than those ones that go into the top to keep the whole thing together. I know that this goes here. Just remember that this fits on just like it did before, and this little indentation, this curvature here, this is for this to fit. Just make sure that your tabs line up tabs line up, all you have to do is gently push. It's on. You're ready to roll. Next item up for bids. What do? Well, you do what you did. Might be a good idea to clean out all the dust that you might have inside your PlayStation, if you have any. I'm assuming that you do. Probably got your sister's hair in there or whatever. Alright, set it down like so. This baby, your fan, by the way, your fan wire, plug that in. Just go ahead and make this check. Make these checks before you put this in here. Make sure that this is on. Make sure that the battery is plugged in and that your fan unit is plugged in. Otherwise, you're going to have to come in and plug essentially the fan. It'll just tell you that it's too hot, and you'll have to take it apart and plug your fan in. This you can actually get away with not plugging back in, but you're not going to have your time and things like that. That's what this battery's for. So come back here. This thing should essentially, if you line it up correctly, it will almost just fall into place. Right in the back here. Just like so. I know there's not a lot of light. Just like that. Gently let it down in there. You're secure. What do you do from here? You're going to be using your self-tapping screws. Let me show these on the table in case I wasn't clear before. This is a self-tapping screw. This is a machine, this is a machine screw. Looks like this. These are shorter, they're finer threads. These are coarse threads and they're longer. The coarse threads that are longer, they're going to secure the PlayStation motherboard to the actual plastic holder. Make sure that this is pushed down nice. There's sometimes some little tabs right here that you have to line up the PlayStation with. You line it up. You line up your this metal piece. So all of the self-tapping screws, where you see an arrow on here, you're going to see these arrows. That's where these screws are going. So if you're like, well, I don't know, well, that's where they go. All of the places where the arrows are. So I'll skip this step right here and come back because it's obvious what I'm doing. Wherever you see an arrow, you're going to put a screw. Maybe I won't skip this step. Here's your long screw. That thing goes into this spot right here. That's where this goes. Right into the end by where the power supply is. That's where the longer one goes. And me, I don't need it anymore, but at first I put a little X there to remind me that this was the longer screw. This tray is going to go up here. You see how I started that screw? That's got to come out. Right there. This tray fits in like so, just like this. There's two little nubs in the front that these holes right here line up with on either side. You'll see it. As soon as you get to it, this thing will line just right up and it will kind of fall into place. There it is. Fell into place. Then you can go ahead and screw these ones down. Screw that one down, get another self-tapping screw, go to the other side. Do you have to torque on these? Absolutely not. Do not start torquing on your PlayStation. Don't start screwing it in until tomorrow. You'll just strip it. You're basically attaching this to plastic. If you keep going with it, it's just going to strip it out. So just, put it in so it's nice and firm. There's no real need to clamp this thing down, seriously. So I'm going to skip after this point. We'll come back after I've got these screws in. Continuing on, we've got all the screws back in. It's basically a reverse order of what you did, if you remember. Do you recall? This piece right here. Yes. This only goes on one way inside this tray. And it's just like this. That's it. you'll notice that this little latch is still up from the time I took it off. And if you haven't seen the other video of why your PlayStation doesn't turn on, it's this ribbon. I'm sure you've seen it by now if you've looked at my videos. This little ribbon can become damaged if you've taken and done this a bunch without being careful. So you're going to carefully pick this up, slide this in until the line is all the way